President of Marketing, the one and only, right? Awesome career progression. You've worked for the mayor of Jacksonville, basically. What was your role in Jacksonville?
Worked for 4 different mayors, various roles, leading marketing communications offices, working with digital communications, media relations, public relations strategies.
And those were elected positions, kind of hard to get.
Anytime a mayor comes in, you have to tender a resignation, and the new mayor can say, yep, don't want to keep you, or yeah, maybe I'll keep you and move you somewhere else, or whatever that looks like. And I survived 4 of those.
And then you worked for a tech company.
Right, I got recruited to start the marketing department for a software solutions provider, and had 3 really good years with that company, learning a lot about building marketing teams and also about the technology industry.
Awesome. So no doubt you've had a tremendously successful career. Would you agree?
Oh yeah, it's been fun.
Still, just like I told you while working together, right? You can be the best person. You can have all of the awards. You can have all of this, all of these things. But hey, if people don't know you, then it's going to be hard to do anything. And wouldn't you agree that even someone at your level, still tremendously hard to find the right position for you?
So I probably, when my position was eliminated at AutoQuotes, the technology company, due to the company selling to investors, I probably applied for 100 jobs in the first month. And most of those, I got the email, thanks, but no thanks. Like I didn't even get past the interview. And I would open up a job description and go, my gosh, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, just check down the list, and didn't even get a call back. So it was very frustrating to feel qualified and sometimes even overqualified and not even get to talk to somebody.
So when we use a different approach to try to get a hold of people, we did have a lot more success, and we were able to get you on a lot more interviews.
Several interviews and some job offers, yes. Initially I was skeptical because the approach was, list a bunch of companies that you want to work for and find people that do what you do in those companies and reach out on LinkedIn, reach out via email, whatever, pick up the phone, which is very scary sometimes. Do all of that. And I'll tell you, the first week or 2, I did it sort of halfway without a lot of result. And I was frustrated and discouraged and cried a lot. And you know that because you talked me through some of those times. But then I realized that you said finding a job is a full-time job. And so I submitted to basically 6, 7, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. And I started getting a lot of connections. I had coffee with a lot of people in the industry, did several interviews, learned a lot about different companies and positions, and had a couple of offers to go back and forth between before I accepted where I am now. And even now, I'm still hearing from people I've reached out to. So, I spent 5 or 6 emails to someone at a CMO, Chief Marketing Officer level, and you don't hear back from them. And then all of a sudden, a couple of weeks after you kind of give it a break, I hear back from them because they're busy. And that's the other thing, Tim, you kept saying, people are busy. You have to keep connecting. You have to keep your name in front of them some way, and they'll eventually get to that. And it's still happening. And even though I've accepted an offer, I have an interview for another position that's better than the one I have now coming up, and I'm excited about that. And addition to all of that, networking with people in your group.
Awesome, because hey, I know we're shooting a little video here for people to see, but Matt in the group now, Matt's a kind of at your level. He's been doing marketing for the NFL and for the NBA and for the soccer and everything. And in the middle of this video, I need to set up a meeting with you because he wanted to talk to you. Like I said, right, the busiest contacts, right, are the best contacts to have because these individuals at corporations are making big decisions, big marketing decisions, big ad spends. They're worried about budgets and lots of different things. So you have to make sure that you stay top of mind, and people do want to help you. One of the issues I think most people run into is they don't know how to have them do that. So many people can send messages, try to get a hold of people, but if you're not doing it the right way, you're going to get 0 results, right? A lot of people reach out saying, can you help me? We know that that doesn't work like that, right?
In marketing, you think that I would know that because that's how you market your product or your service, right? But when you're marketing yourself, it's very different, because you're just in that almost in survival mode sometimes, I guess. So you think differently. But you and I had a lot of conversations about, you can ask some people to meet you and help you, but really it's about trying to learn about them and what you can do from them, and approaching it as if you're a consultant for their business. I got a lot of responses when I started doing that. Research the company on LinkedIn, respond about an article they published. I started getting a lot more responses when I did that from people higher up. And also, we talked a lot about developing content, making yourself more relevant. And so I published a couple of articles on LinkedIn.
One went like viral. Remember you told me, like, hey Tim, oh my God.
Well, that's how I got my current job. The hiring manager read the article.
Who would have thought, everyone who's watching, a LinkedIn post?
Yeah, and that's one reason I'm interviewing next week for a potential other job, because that recruiter read my article and sent it to the hiring manager, who also read it. And she said, I love the way you wrote this article. I knew I had to talk to you. So I thought, wow, from one article, but it wouldn't have even published had you not said. It's putting your face everywhere. So it's not just contacting people, it's also establishing yourself as the consultant or the expert in whatever area you're interested in.
And you had a lot of issues during this, and everyone I work with, there's no doubt, everyone you've met in the group, would you not agree that all of these people have very impressive backgrounds? Doctorate degrees, master's degrees, 20 years of experience, had just amazing things happen, but still have a lot of issues that we've had to work through.
Right, and can you imagine how many people though are actually out there looking for jobs?
And you even several times question your ability.
Yeah.
If you're not getting the results, you're like, hey, I'm a great person, I have great skills. And then you would get caught up on, hey Tim, I'm a VP of marketing, but I haven't specifically done this type, the medical. I haven't specifically done this. And wouldn't you agree that you're in an industry now, we got you a gig in where you don't have no experience in that industry?
I specialize in cloud transformation, but still it's not something that I had done before.
Zero experience.
Yeah, that's true. And the other part of that is a lot of the challenges people had were not only that they have a lot of experience, but they just weren't clicking with anything. People are also still working in some cases. So then it's a matter of time resource. And you said, give it 5 weeks. If you just have to like come home every night and turn off Netflix and don't drink the glass of wine until you get something, it's worth it in the end. And so, you know, part of this, I was working a contract job and was trying to do this at the same time. And you're right, you have to just prioritize.
So what would you say to someone who's out there doing it themselves, not getting any results, struggling, has a tremendous amount of experience, did value? At what point do you need to say, hey, I probably need help?
Well, you know, I think even for me, if I know what to do, so now I've worked with you and I know what to do, right? Yep. But I'll tell you, if I'm in a situation where I'm going through it again, I'm going to reach out for help again, because it's not just knowing what to do and putting the steps in place. It's having that mental push, you know, that encouragement. I mean, there are all sorts of reasons to just have someone to encourage you, even if you know what the steps should be, right? Because it's hard to focus on that when you're feeling the least bit frustrated or anxious or, you know, like I said, desperate in some cases.
I use the term like debilitated. You know, it's like you just can't do anything because you're just like so upset and you're just like off the track.
Right. You sort of have to have somebody just kind of, like you said, point you in the right direction. Here you go. Let's go again, you know. And also, to be quite honest with you, hearing some of the struggles that other people had that were also professionals didn't make me feel so negative about myself, quite frankly. And that negativity about yourself is a killer. I mean, you pointed that out and it's true. So even if you know what you're doing, it's still nice to have that support system.
You can have a good resume, you can have a good profile, you can know exactly what to say to these people, you know, to get a hold of them. You can know exactly how the interview goes. Hey, I know I need to say this at the beginning, this in the middle. Hey, knowing what to do. There's a difference between knowing what to do and doing it with like conviction. You know what I'm saying? Like a high level of conviction, like it's my duty, obligation, responsibility that if I can help this company, if I can solve this marketing issue, it's my job to truly convey that with passion. And I feel like at the executive level, at the director and above, it's hard now, right? There's so many people who are good at what they do with that. But being able to convey it with passion so other people start to believe it is the challenge that most people deal with.
Right. And I think for me, I would say it was all about confidence. We talked about, you know, the confidence factor and going in and taking the consultant approach versus the I'm desperate to find a job approach. Mm-hmm. And all of that. So really, nobody markets themselves or can put themselves out there the way they can put other things and talk about other people and other processes, right? So that's why, for me, I needed help. And like I said, I know the steps maybe. I have my list, I have my notes, but I would do it again because I would always want the support. That's the part that people just can't give themselves.
Yeah, I always tell people too, even working with the professional, likely, this is exactly what I say when I talk to you to try to enroll you. I say, hey, even working with a professional, it's likely you're probably going to get punched in the face a couple of times, right?
Oh.
But if you stay committed, you will get there, right? So Pam, thanks so much for sharing. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.